This isn't a video talking about motivation that you need. I'm here to tell you the motivation you're looking for is actually within yourself. You don't need another book. You don't need another podcast. You don't need to watch a documentary or anyone else model the motivation you're missing and telling you to get off your butt to do it. I'm here to tell you it's not the motivation you're lacking, but what you're lacking is the way to make it happen for your results. I'm Lee Agbohlah with Ultimate Performance, and in this video, I will share why you're not lacking motivation, but lacking structure. This is going to help you out with figuring out how to put it together to ultimately reach your goals and then live the healthy lifestyle you dream about. You don't need another video on motivation, and I'm going to deliver on what you actually need. Now, motivation is something that does have power in a very short term. When you do feel motivated and you haven't done something, that is where you're more likely to take action. So we've all seen it. Someone else may motivate you by seeing them be where you want to be at, or you may hear a great talk, read a book, listen to a podcast, and now you want to take action. Well, great. This means that there is something that you want and you want to make it happen, but that motivation you're feeling is quickly going to fade. Motivation does not last. So what you really think is happening with motivation isn't really there. You cannot be motivated each and every day to be your most successful self. Life happens. There's things that are going to get you off track and get you where you don't want to do things. That's part of us being human. Just as easy as it to do is just as hard, and that's why more likely when we do feel it just as hard, we don't actually do it. So why do I say it's not motivation but structure? Because the structure is what allows you to make it happen, and these are happening through habits. So the first thing you have to understand within the structure is you have to set yourself up for success. And to set yourself up for success, you have to start by having an environment that allows you to be successful. So the first thing you want to look at, what is an environment that's going to help you be successful? So you're watching the video right now and you're wanting to be healthier, and we're going to talk about within weight loss. If you're wanting to lose more weight and you want to be the confident self and be able to have the body you want, you got to set yourself up with the environment. So the first thing is you control what comes into your home. So you need to remove the foods that are not set up for an environment of success. So first thing is clean out your pantry, take things that are going to cause you to overeat and to cause you to not be in your best success. So let's reduce that processed food that we have stacked up in our pantry. Let's increase the foods that we're supposed to eat, which are the non-processed, the proteins, your grains, your fruits. Now this can also carry over to the fridge as well. Now, I'm not someone that believes in restrictive eating, but it is likely that you're going to be more successful, and this is not even close, if you have the environment set up within the home, within the pantry. That's what's going to allow you to be in the best possible situation to reach your goals, is because you're going to help yourself. Now, we understand that nutrition is the biggest factor that's going to lead to you being able to lose weight. So if you can set yourself in the pantry, it's going to help you out. Now, when you have to make the resistance, what we're talking about is to get some of those foods that are not best for you, more likely than not, you're probably going to say no. If you got to go to the store to go grab a carton of ice cream because you didn't bring it in, but you have a taste for it, you're more likely to just say, no, I don't feel like getting out of my house and driving. Even with today's apps, probably do you want to spend as much money for just a delivery of ice cream? Think about it. Probably not, right? So setting yourself up with the right environment that's putting structure, because now you're going to put structure within your nutrition because you're putting it together with what foods you actually need to build. So the structure that allows you to be able to do that starts off with the environment. The environment goes past just the success for your nutrition. How can you set your environment up to be healthier within the habits as well? Well, more likely than not, if you're not setting yourself up with properly being able to sleep, you're going to struggle. So having a setup with an environment as well is to reduce blue light, be able to set yourself up for your bed to be able to make yourself sleep comfortably. This is going to allow you to be in the right state. So your environment goes past just what you do nutrition, but it also helps you sleep. And that's going to be more likely to lead to what? You being able to work out because you're going to be able to have a good night of sleep. Now you're more likely to be able to do that. So first thing that you have to be able to understand within building structure is setting up your environment. Second, what we want to be able to do, as we talk about, we need to foster habits, right? We need to foster that through the structure. So what can allow us to be able to structure is to work on framing what we want to happen within our goals. So to help yourself be able to build structure is set yourself up where you make these goals a must for yourself to be able to get there. How can you do that? Well, set up each and every day that you understand what your goals are. You should be seeing your goals each and every day to get your mind focused on accomplishing them. Vision boards, very successful by doing that. You can actually have that set up where you have it in your home, right? Where in your room, you see it. You got to wake up and you have to see that. Write down your goals. Have your goals written down so you can see what your goals are for this year, this month, this week, this day. Write them down on what your goal is to be able to happen. When you can see that in front of you, and then when you start feeling that times are hard, if you can reflect back on that, what is that going to do to you? It's going to help you be in the right position to not choose the other side of the coin, right? There's two sides of the coin. You can choose what's easy or you choose what's hard. Both are equal. It's the type of coin where it's not the coin where think of traditional heads and tails. They both have the equal effect to it. You choose what can just be just as easy or just what could be as hard, but you choose what decision you're going to make for yourself. But by having those goals in your mind, in the vision, you can work on that. So the structure that you have by having the goals that you need, and these are setting the right goals for yourself. So have it make sense for the amount of time that you need to have something that is measurable, have something that you can be able to reach, have something that you can actually look to evaluate so you can do it. Now, most people think sometimes goals, man, it keeps a negative effects. Now I feel like I'm not getting there. Well, you got to rewire to see how the goals are not the goals where you got to feel like you're losing something, because you're getting closer, even if you're not reaching your goals as you may like to be, but now you can work on that, right? So structure yourself by having an environment, having the goals there. How does that help you out? It makes a big difference. And the thing that is most important to put this all together with this is within structure is these have to be about setting foundational habits to a healthy lifestyle. So your habits have to be formed. You have to be working on things that are actually a habit that you can do. Don't do things that lack structure as far as habits, because if you do things that don't lack structure, you will suffer. Just working out mindlessly, eating mindlessly has no structure. Your eating has not had structure, that's why you suffer. So following a fad restrictive diet is not true structure, because that's something that you're geared to doing for a short period of time. You are not going no carbs for the rest of your life. You are not going no sweets for the rest of your life. You're going no fast food for the rest of your life. So structure things that actually are habits that you can do. How can I eat more protein? How can I eat more veggies? How can I eat more grains? How can I drink more water? Have things that set up within that you can do. Well, you can buy those foods that are going to do that. Within water, you can track your water where you're at by having a journal or having one of those bottles that tell you where each moment where you're at with drinking water, right? Have that within workouts. Don't think things that you can't to sustain without structure, as far as either working out where the program lacks a structure to do to fit your life, or you're working where it's too much for you that you can maintain 2 hours, 3 hours a day. That is pointless. Do workouts that can work for you even when times get tough or different periods of time where you don't have to skip them. That's habits. So habits are going to align with the structure. So when you start focusing on that, now the structure is coming together so that you can actually be able to have foundation, right? Without the foundation and to be able to build from it to ultimately have the lifestyle, then you're going to suffer. Because now you're looking at motivation to tell you to go work out. You're looking for motivation to tell you to not overeat. You're looking at motivation to tell you to go to sleep. You're looking at motivation to get yourself to hydrate. You're looking for motivation to get you to not quit, to tell you to keep going. Well, that needs to be set up within structure, because now that you're not looking at it when you have a tough day and it sucks, but because you're putting together the habits to work on your mindset, your nutrition, your fitness, having an environment that allows you to be in that prime position and being able to put these pieces together is what's going to help you out with it. But if you don't have those things and you don't know your goals or why you're doing it, you will question yourself. But when you have the goals, you know why you're doing it, you're telling yourself, hey, it's that wake-up call. What you think is motivation is that wake-up call, because now your drive is getting you there, but that is built through structure. So you need to work on these parts of the things that you're lacking, which is structure, not motivation. Because the motivation is not going to get you to be where you want to be at. The reason I'm here speaking to you today is not motivation, it's structure. The reason I've helped hundreds of clients be able to make transformations or structure. The thing that you want, that you see in another individual that has a healthy lifestyle, that you admire, they have the structure. And you can do it too if you put it together. So stop looking for motivation, work on habits, work on goals, work on the environment to give you the structure you need. And I'm here to help you out. So let me know, what are the things that you need to work on to build more structure? What value have you found in this video? And as always, be sure to like and subscribe.